We have one way to bring in the co-host, and we're going to do it this way. Man on a mission?
I can't hardly hear it though.
You can't hear it? I'm going to do it again for you. I have to do it again for you because you need to hear it.
All right, boss.
Because in 2017, you took a part.
Yes.
And we are here tonight. All right. You justify that you're on a mission, sir?
I'm on many missions always.
You went to the junior stock market in 2017. That was 5 years ago.
Yes, sir.
The famous company took you to market.
MEEG Investments.
MEEG Investments, sir. And guess what? We went through the lockdown, entertainment closed down, and guess what happened last week? Give me that again, producer. Give me this one.
Oh, God.
All right. Cut. So here we are, man on a mission, and you fly the gate.
You want me to show you how I was dancing to that, no?
Eh?
You want me to show you when I was playing that song, how I was dancing Friday? Would fly the gate?
No, but it's a real thing, you know. Because let me tell you something. The funny thing about it, in 2017, the first time a sitting prime minister went to a launch of a stock company was with MEEG Event. The first time.
Prime Minister is a smart man, so him know where, you know, him know where the growth of this country is.
All right, entertainment. It's all about entertainment. And we did something, welcome all, service bad, Salah service bad, our service bad. Talk to me, guys, talk to me. So the service bad, I think we're getting better. Yes, so outside, yes, looking good. We titled tonight, Outside Opportunities for Main Events. The main event that we are talking about is now that the economy reopens. There's a lot of events in the making. And we know by the signal of the market today, Friday, the share price shot up to 787. And today, me I watch it. And you know what? $9 and change. It closed. So the market, calm down. The market is reading something that is way ahead. So, boss, what has been happening to main event? What's in the pipeline for main event? As an entrepreneur, and you're going to leave us with some must-do for entrepreneurs. That's pretty much it. Fly the gate, hold on. Fly the gate. Yeah, all right, Fell Gem. All right. So, Salah need no introduction. CEO, Main Event Entertainment Group. How got started, boss?
2004 is when it became official. So, my tenets or my roots are in Red Stripe, or Deno and Geddes, as it were. So, as a young man, graduated in 1991. I started at Deno and Geddes, and I worked in the public relations department. So a lot of people don't know that I'm not just squarely about entertainment or marketing, but you know, public relations falls within the gambits of marketing. It has gotten a lot more taken on a life of its own. So we ended up being the corporate affairs department, and I had to know the length and breadth of Jamaica, and I used to open about 200 letters every morning and sit with my boss and go through what areas would help, what schools, what social sectors. And, you know, I had to go into some deep places, uptown, downtown, rural areas, and find some people and to deliver real hope for their lives. So I think that first job helped me. I was a young man, and we were very close to the marketing department. So whenever all of the older guys, you know, wanted to spend time with family, you know, I was there to do everything. So I would get maximum 4 hours of sleep. So I tried to party. I tried to work. I tried to get myself involved. I was at work the next morning. You know, things that I had to do was like I had to do the tours of the plant, of the facilities. So when you're the rookie, you get all of that, you know, hard work to do. But what that did, it gave me an appreciation or a better appreciation of people and how people did their jobs. So I would spend a lot of time in the plant, seeing a lot of people doing their jobs. I would hear questions from adults doing tours. I would have to do a tour with the cricket teams when they came, school children. So I got a myriad of questions from a big cross section of people, and I then gained an opportunity to learn the whole manufacturing system. So for me, in learning business early, I learned all facets of the business, the whole manufacturing side, the marketing side, how important it was to have a quality product, and how important it was to bring that quality product to market. So having been at Denver is the time that I was there, I was very lucky because they had Pepsi and the soft drink brand, you know, with Cool Cat. Then you had the flagship Red Stripe beer, and you also had wines and spirits. So I learned a lot then. I took a little sojourn after that to go sort of find myself, you know, because when I was in school, I was very intense. I played a lot of football. There was one time I played football 7 days a week, and I had a 1 match Friday, 1 match Saturday, 1 match Sunday, and another match on Monday. I was fit like a fiddle.
So we usually play minor league and Pepsi down on the field down Spanish Town Road. You know. You used to play there?
Yeah, man. I played.
Guys, share the live because the world needs to know where Salah coming from, that he was a baller. But share the live while we get back to it.
Yes, I've played Pepsi. At Campion, we were the first team at Campion to ever win the courts. So we set a trend there. Had I stayed back after playing 2 years of Manning Cup, that younger team with Kimani Robinson, Julian Robinson, etc., would have easily won Manning Cup. I keep telling them that I was a missing ingredient. I would have been the older guy on the team to keep off some of those guys that were intimidating, you know, the younger skillful players. I played Premier League. I played a little business house for Denver. I played inter-department. So football is my life. And that whole competitiveness that I gained from football is what I've brought into business. So when you have your kids out there playing ball, try and balance schoolwork with ball, but don't take away the ball and make them only do school, right? Yes. I've seen some of the nerds that were way brighter than me in school not be as efficient, as effective, being able to cope in life when certain pressures of life reach them. So it was very important for me. So every time I'm under pressure, I go back to my ball days, and I either say, I mean, you get pressure in two ways. You get pressure when you're up 1-0 and you're trying to defend it, or you get pressure when you get down 1-0 early, because you tend to want to go after it, and you can't. And if you go after it, 10 chances that you're going to leave yourself exposed around the back, and you can easily go down 2-0. And coming down from 2-0 is not an easy thing. No,
so, because Felgem and Icon Andy, they must say you're a big baller and they want to big up the baller. But it's the first time Money Matters family and the world know that you're a baller. I'm telling you that. We know you as the entertainment man who drive entertainment, right? And the market believe in you and back you. Remember when you listed in 2017, you were oversubscribed by 460%. 460%. The share price went up $5.19, 2018, 2019, thereabout. But the pandemic pulled it.
It went over $8.
All right, so we're going back to where we belong.
Right. So the pandemic came and it became like a two love. But what do you do when you're down two love?
Yes.
You don't go in an all-out attack. This is where you consolidate, and you have to take a break, and you have to take a huddle, and you have to remember what you did in training, and you have to remember all of what brought you there, because you're down in like a semifinals, right? And you don't stop playing until that last whistle. So it got tough for us, but we decided to just grit it out. And I remember, other than football now, there's a book that I tell all entrepreneurs to read, Good to Great by Jim Collins. That's a must read. When you go to the Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Okay. Continue, boss.
Yes, I treated COVID just like the general when he was shot down, when he was at war. And him on him parachute, and him say, yo, one thing, I'm going home alive. And him pull him parachute, and him landed, and him was a prisoner of war. And him said to himself, him will serve 5 years, and he survived 7. Now a motivational speaker, senator. So I decided that, how do I spend the time off? And I went back to my core, and I decided to get fit, right? Because we have taken the entertainment business, or the landscape in Jamaica was not as organized when we got involved. So we got it organized, and we put a back end into it, right? And again, I'm going to go back to football. So what formation were you playing before, and how was it working, and what talent did you have? Because your formation has a lot to do with how the type of players you have. Yeah, who you're playing against, etc. So we had to look at see what we had in the marketplace, and we believed in the thing really big. We thought that it was really going to be huge, and we took a different approach. We took a business approach. So I remember I did something recently with the Orange Economy, the Orange Economy for the creative sector within the through Marissa Benin at the Ministry of Gender, Entertainment, Sports, right? Headed by Minister Grange. And everybody came, and I got a script, say, hey, you can almost follow along this script. And by the way, I was a little troublemaker in school. I was a troublemaker at practice. And I'm just a troublemaker in life. So when I looked on the script, I said, but I don't see me in this. Right? Because again, I learned early at then on is that you have to challenge the status quo. You have to make your own paradigm shifts. You have to help to shift the market and shift the marketplace how you want it. Right? When it not going your way, you back off a little bit and you just keep working at it. So when we saw what was missing,
strong point. Challenge is one of your strong points as an entrepreneur.
Oh, definitely. As I said, we have played 2 love up, we have played 2 love down, and we have come back and won the game, or come back and taken a point, and you know what that is, or come back, tied the game and won it in penalties, and and you hear how lucky you are, and I said, well, lucky born better than well bred. But so what we did with the marketplace, there was a huge gap, and we brought stability and organization to it. And then what we did from that, right? We created a lot of micro entrepreneurs, right? Outside of we were the biggest hirer of university students at Main Event in our first 15 years.
Hold on. Don't say another word. Don't say another word. Friday, the PM fly the gate Wednesday. By Friday, you have an ad out looking for staff. Now, who else would have done that apart from a company that is thinking about when the gate fly? Think
Yeah, and I
about it.
mean, and a company that has produced a lot of young individuals who weren't sure what they wanted to do. And you know, some of them got an opportunity to sit with me, some longer, some shorter. And I'm never, you know, I think I must always send the elevator down. I must always have conversations with people and point them in the right direction. And I mean, if I see somebody that is making clothes, but they should be doing something else, I want to say, hey, you sure you don't want to think about doing something else? And you know, we've created other opportunities for them. And as I said, the university students, when they come to me, even as I've taken persons who have come to the promotional work and made them into entertainment coordinators, and they have gone on to being their own entrepreneurs. And I make them do the work and I expose them to the client. So in a lot of other businesses, the CEO is that big personality that is up front, and then he filters down, or he or she, right, filters down the information. I get the information to them at the source and they filter it to me. When it doesn't sound right, I call a huddle again, right? Other sports like basketball and thing, timeout, right? So you've seen like Steph Curry and them down 12. Coach call a timeout. Them keep a huddle. Boom, boom, boom. 4 3-pointers. They're back in the game, right? So I constantly have huddles. I constantly go to the chalkboard with my team because I go right back to the football days. Remember those days when you're playing football down at DNG where there's minor league? This the coach have a little piece of paper or a chalkboard on the ground. Some coaches take when you go to a place like Calabar and the coach will have a halftime talk, the coach take up some stone off of the field, and that is what him use and show you what formation and where you're failing. So I don't ever forget that. I go right back to my core, and that is what my core is. You know, and I try to be that player coach. So I tell my team that as a head, I'm not there to do your work. I'm there to make your work easier. I'm there to remove your barriers. And that is how you build.
One of your followers, King Kong, is agreeing with you that you made her. Yes. A proud promo girl from back then. You guided her in hospitality. Very good. Right. Well done, boss. Teach the youth. JBJ saying it, teach the youth.
Yeah, respect Jeremy. And him know that I always have stories I'm always sharing. And I believe in building, I believe in nation building. And during the lockdown, as you know, when I did speak, as I said, there's two things that will bring back this economy: sports and entertainment. And it's critical because, again, I wasn't a nerd. I went to Campion. I didn't even go to sixth form. I went to university instead of going to sixth form. I went fifth form, and then I did 1 year of upper fifth, right? Did a little football, and then I went to university. And when I came back, I was speaking to some sixth form students at Campion, and I consider them nerds because if you get to Campion sixth form, you're a real nerd. And I gave everybody a chance to speak, you know. So facial maxima specialist was there, and him saying went to school for 16 years, and you know, bright guy. I'm like, whoa, good. A lawyer came and an IT specialist, but you know, the entertainer got the most applause. I mean, and I'm not even an entertainer, but when I start to speak about entertainment, I tapped into those students, and they immediately they were awake because they have been hearing about lawyer, doctor, Indian chief from first form at Campion, and then here's this other individual who is now telling them about different opportunities in life. I used to fight with UTEC, and then UTEC came around, and there's some entertainment cohorts or programs that they want to put in place, because how do we prepare the next generation, right? So go back to that orange economy thing now. You know, everybody's like, so and so and so. I'm a creative. I'm into film. I'm into this. No, I'm the money man that make everything happen. So I don't necessarily want to be the guy that I don't even know how to turn on any equipment that I've ever purchased. And if you go to the stock exchange online, you'll see Made Event having, think about $800 million worth of assets, right? I
Well,
don't know how to
I can tell you what the revenue was even during COVID. It surpassed $1 billion. So as much as the entertainment sector was closed down, main event was still doing the activities that were being done online.
Yeah,
there were no spectators, but main event still had some work. So
yeah, we're building some diversity, and we had a digital signage line, and again, in playing ball, I was a fat kid, so I had to learn some other skills to make sure that I made the team, and I also had to use my head, because when you're chasing some of these guys, and I hated marking a guy from Charlie Smith, Christopher Bellidias, right? And anybody who has played against him will tell you the same thing. Fast like lightning. Very tricky, and him get into your head. Very tricky, and him get into your head as the game start, right? And these guys were just playing long balls. So you had to know when to play the offside trap, because with a speedy guy, you have to come out and you play the offside track. So all the strategies were taken from then. So what are the other things that you're going to do to make sure that you beat the competition? So you have to be prepared. And my father always told me, you know, if you fail to prepare to fail. And then I would see him reading his logbooks, reading and studying. I mean, he was a pilot. And I would go in the cockpit and see him doing 10-point checklists. And that's what I've passed on to everybody who works with me. And, you know, and what really makes me feel good is when I speak to the people at NCB and they say, you know, you did a wonderful job with so-and-so, and the persons that work here and there, you know, you did a wonderful job with so-and-so. But I mean, I got an opportunity to learn at Denham Geddes, which I think was a university. And it's for me to share with everybody and to pass it on. And I really believe in this sector. And there's a sporting element. We did a launch for Champs today. And we don't just execute Champs, we're a sponsor of Champs. And
hold on. So the main events that are coming up, and that's why we play on the word for the outside opportunities for main events. So all the main events that is coming up, main events have them locked.
Yeah, I would say we're going to play a part in most.
In most?
And we're going to help to rebuild the sector. And then when we help to rebuild the sector gets bigger, stronger. A lot of other persons going to get more opportunities. So this is the first thing. You're going to kind of recast and reset the foundation, right? Because it got shaky. I mean, this is like an earthquake that happened. So you're going to find all the cracks.
Tsunami, man. Tsunami.
There you go. And you're going to find all the cracks. And you're going to fix all of these cracks. Because you can't fix the cracks until all of the shaking and everything has stopped, right? So we said, okay, everything is subsided. And just like the general said, I'm not going to try and thief out of this concentration camp or this be a prisoner of war. I am going home alive. So what did I do? When I was on the lockdown, I've lost about 65 pounds or 70 pounds on the lockdown. And I've just been training for this moment. So right now, we're coming back fit and ready. One of my team members called me earlier and said, I can't understand where I get all this energy from. I said, well, it's just pent up. I've been waiting for this day. So we're having a series of meetings with my clients, and I'm going into the meetings now. So you know, remember we were talking before, you say, you know, boy, you're this super confident guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm not as confident as you would think, right? However, wherever my confidence falls short, I'm very determined. And then when I say I'm going to put it to something, you know, in the break, I spent a little bit of time over at Caymanas Park, and I vowed not to make that fall by the wayside, even with all the restrictions, and I kept it up and running. A lot of people kept criticizing, and I said, hey, how about you come and call me and find out what we did to keep it up and running. So again, I went back to football. I went back to what we did to start main event, and all of these things that I used to do, I would have applied it. I would have started to turn the screws and tweak it, just like how we developed main event into a powerhouse. And you know, very early, Gary looked on Richie and myself and said, when we told him some of our plans, some of the numbers that we're doing, him said, "What? you do it? I say, and I mean, and so we're laughing because we're like, what happened? And I'm like, but that's ridiculous, you know, few companies that do that. And I'm like, oh. And I said, but we don't really start yet, and you know, we don't really do nothing yet, and you know, we have a big outlook. So we have a big outlook for main event, we have a big outlook for Jamaica. We want to be the region's #1 brand in delivering phenomenal experiences. And you know, you'll hardly hear me speak about profit, but if I go to an AGM, that's what I'll have to speak about then.
Yeah.
But if you don't put the right tenets in place, and if you don't put the business in place and put down a good foundation, right? You know, you're going to be you're going to be having a different conversation. So, you know, here it is that we did a record profit January 2020, and then COVID came and us, you know, in February, all we're hearing is cancelled. And at one point, it's like, oh, am I going to be cancelled? And I said, you know what? We don't come here to get cancelled. So we went back to preseason training. We went and worked out in the sun hut, and you know, and then we brought some of our determination again to Caymanas Park and some other things under the quiet and the down low. Have some interest in some other businesses, and we kind of said, you know, let's see what we're going to do. But it was tough. And one of the most important things is that you have to have a good board, because you know, kudos to Dr. Ian Blair, who is now our acting chairman. Unfortunately, may Harry Maraj, you know, rest in peace. But these guys, when you sit down and you hear these stories, you have to sit down and you have to listen, and you have to be a student. So again, Solomon Sharpe is a big bad guy in the boardroom sometimes, but then when he goes in his own boardroom, he becomes a student, and you have to listen. These guys have been there, they have done that, and you have to put the right team to guide you. And you know, Dr. Blair says, hey,
the right team.
Crisis management time, this is how you're going to manage XYZ. And we followed suit, you know. And one of the things that you have to do in a crisis is manage your cash. And I think the market and some of the savvy people in the market have, you know, looked on and say that, you know, we have managed a strong cash balance. You know, to the chagrin of the team, to the chagrin of some people before who we used to spend a lot more with, but you know, we had to consolidate, and we had to make sure.
I saw your last quarter, and I think you have cash balance of 300 million, if I stand corrected. I think when I glance at it, that's what I'm seeing. So you're right. You have the cash.
Yeah, it's a little bit over 200.
Yes, the market is reading something about main events, and I'm going to give you another secret. Right. Money Matters, we advocate for financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and we advocate on that platform. And we said, go and check your investment advisor. But Money Matters believe that main event will sprint away at least 50% from January. You already double that. So the company, and with the gate fly, what is there? What else are investors to look forward to? Because we know that Supreme Venture bought a piece of main events. We know that. Know that for a fact, because disclosed. So what else is in the pipeline now outside of the champs? What investors are going to look forward to? Because tomorrow morning, they will be saying to me, Money Matters, you had another listed company on the platform, and we got this from it. Should we buy? And I said, go check a licensed investment advisor. They will guide you. But what is it they want to hear from you?
So I don't sell stocks. I don't sell finance. I sell services, right? And I'm here for main event. And think about it. The virtuals, we're over it. No, we're on a virtual space right now. So there is a place for it. And that's what COVID did for us, right? COVID forced us into the virtual space. However, we all want to get outside. We all want to touch, to feel, to really absorb the atmosphere, to take off our mask and take deep breaths again, right? We want to be at some fest. and we want to get some of that nice aroma floating in the air, right? All of those things are lined up, right? And remember this, I started as a promoter, so every time I back up against the wall, I kind of put on my promoter shoes and I get cranking, right? But I'm now older, wiser now, so I've learned to take my time, right? And just do a lot more and use my brain and use all my connections and mobilize my team and empower my team. So yes, I'm big on empowerment and I'm big on growing people. So everybody that has passed through my hands, right, have said to me at some point in time, thank you for X, Y, and Z. Right? When they put main event on their resume and they want to go further afield, they are qualified. When we say the region's #1 brand, what is the region to you? What does the region mean to you, Delroy?
The region is the Caribbean. For me, not just Jamaica, and expanding out.
It's quicker to get to Miami than Trinidad.
Well, that's true, because you have to go.
And we have a big diaspora market there. It's the same time almost to get to New York as it is to get to Trinidad. The entertainment space has shifted. So it's two ways we can interact. We can bring them here or we can go to them. I say no more. Can't tell everything. We have a good client base, and our client base needs to be connected, right? And we have some things lined up to take our client base out in the streets. And one of the things that is very important for me is not just to grow my business, but is to grow the sector. So when we got involved, the sector wasn't organized, and I would have conversations with guys and talking about going public and doing good back-end management of financial management and put a board in place. And these guys would look at me like, and then they would say that, boy, them can't survive because them overheads are too high. And so I mean, we carried up quite a bit of overheads for 2 years when not much was happening. If you look at a negative figure, go and look on the depreciation, right? So you see it was related to depreciation, and we found a way to survive, right? So guys, we want to all work together and rebuild this sector because Jamaica is going to be bigger and stronger. Look at the amount of construction, especially in hotel rooms, that has happened in the last 2 years. So when we were down and out, construction was booming, and then staycations became a big thing because at the hotel you didn't have to go in so early. You know what I mean? And you could walk on the beach and things. So there's a whole host of opportunities waiting for this country, and we were going to explode in 2020, and I think Jamaica is going to explode shortly, and we're there to mop up all the opportunities. So there's a
I start to jump in because I am a little shareholder of the main event start. So see me bouncing here because in the pipeline on the outside, main event is ready because them actually on the inside because them have a good clientele base. So you're actually on the inside already with those work. And neither I say no more that you're already, the share price is already sprinting into 2022. It's actually our pleasure, sir, to have another listed company that is part of Money Matters portfolio. We have some person who have big up. We have B. Magal, big up Salah. But it's too many to mention. Guys, it's only a 30 minutes program. We have to get back Salah. But the important thing is that the Money Matters fan base look to the companies that Money Matters are in the platform, and we also try to show entrepreneurs what they can do to get ahead. You can't sit down. Salah said he used 4 hours sleep as a young man growing up. You can't sleep. You can't say I'm an entrepreneur and I have 10 hours worth of sleep. It not gonna work. You're not gonna make it. You can't make it away. You can't make it.
And you have to be intense. And You really have to be intense, and you have to bring in a certain level of discipline. And by discipline, it doesn't mean that you're restricted. It just means that you have to do the thing in a particular way, right? And you know, as I said, we're just about the stick-to-itiveness, grinding it out, and creating opportunities. Sometimes we created some opportunities, you know, and another company got the benefit of it. And we says, all right, you know, we take this one and we just go down the road, and then all of a sudden we see 4 opportunities come that way. And, you know, some other client came to us and said, I saw something executed. Can you do that? And we laughed because it was our template. So I have a way of saying that, you know, it's very easy when you come to main event because we flick the switch. So
Yes.
right now we're doing some little work in the back end. And it's not just about providing profit for you, the shareholder. That's what we go about doing, but we create a broad value base, right? So, you know, the people that used to cater, the people that used to sew these uniforms or these outfits, costumes for the promo people, the guys on the ground that came to main event that didn't know what a cable is if it hit them, and we've taken them from scratch. Some of them are now working overseas, and you know, they're doing well for themselves, they're doing well for their families.
Educating and transforming, man.
So there's a lot of employment that is going to be created by us and our competitors. And we went train some way stay, some way go to the competitors, but I don't worry about that, because we have some other secret ingredients that, you know, help to keep us along the way. As I said to you, I couldn't run as fast as some of these guys, but I made it. And, you know, I got my fair share of winning, you know, whenever I had whenever we had the right team. And yeah, so I've done well in life, and so it's my time now to rebuild this thing and to create some opportunities and to pass it on to the next generation. And if you notice, it wasn't Salah Enterprise or SS or Richie and Salah. It was the main event, because, you know, we saw something big.
Yes.
Big up to Monique, make it in peace. She helped us come up with the name Main Event, and we wanted something that would live on forever, that would create a real legacy platform. So this legacy platform is, and in 2017 we decided to share it with the world. And you know, notice I didn't say Jamaica Stock Exchange, but big up Jamaica Stock Exchange. And during that time, you know, when we were listing, the Jamaica Stock Exchange was voted the best in the world. So we decided to take Jamaica, what we were doing, to the world. Whenever there are some big conferences, and we have a couple lined up that's coming to Jamaica, we were preparing ourselves for these big conferences that come to Jamaica. And then, you know, with a shortage of capital, we couldn't do it all overnight, you know. So I would go to IMEX, and I'm in Las Vegas, in the Sands Convention Center, and I'm looking around and I'm like, how am I going to replicate this in Jamaica? It's easier to visit Jamaica. We have 2 international hotels, and we have a fair amount of hotels. We have 2 international airports, rather. We have a good amount of airlift, and we have some good hotels. So what happens when these guys in Central America and certain other parts of the world can't get a visa to come to America? Why don't we host some of these functions? So that's what we were built on. So hint, hint, we're ready. Yeah, because the world is open. The world is going to bring some of these things here, and that's how we are going to make our money, and that's how we're going to continue to share with our stakeholders, shareholders, and just our fan base. Because I mean, you know, we don't just look at Main Event as just a money making machine. We want to make it into an iconic brand. And I mean, you know, it was really emotional today when you looked at the Champs, and you know how big Champs is, to see the Main Event, to see the Main Event logo on there, and see life coming back, and like, yeah, and, you know, the heart rate pumping and everything again. So we have a lot to accomplish.
Stuart Smelly, empower the team members. I can testify. Look here, if I stay, the program is 30 minutes and we give you some brata. So I'm going to show you about the money. Look here. We love this. Bop, bop. What? Look here. Look here. I can tell you one thing. Every person who is holding the shares, every person who is holding the shares right now of main event is smiling tonight. I'm telling you that. Fire, more fire, because guess what? Guess what?
But Delroy, making me nervous, man. You feel like making me feel like I'm in a cup final now, you know? And the stadium buzzing.
Listen this. Money Matters was happy. Money Matters was happy to have you. Thanks to your incredible team.
Am I to hire you as a DJ?
But huh?
Am I to hire you as a DJ when like I have to call on you?
Well, you never can tell. It's my producer doing all of this, but you never can tell because I can tell you.
Okay.
Money
so
Matters.
Like me, you're the front man and keep everybody moving in the background then, right?
Yes, we entertain, we inspire, we educate, and we inform, and we deal with financial and entrepreneur advocacy. That's all we do. And send them to the investment house like Mayberry, yeah man, to let them understand investment, entrepreneurship, we share it all for free. My friend, you have an incredible team that assisted us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to supporting again and respect you.
Go again.
I said, looking forward to coming back on this thing. I really enjoyed it. And for any young entrepreneur out there that I could help, call on me. We're gonna try.
All right. Listen.
We all have to make this thing happen, and we have to make the next generation be ready for us. Whether they're a competitor or not, we have to get them ready.
You said something, and we created a word last year. Try entrepreneur. When you said you have to stick to it, that's what entrepreneur does. You run from it at the first. You see, if you run from it, I try entrepreneur. You're not ready for entrepreneurship yet. But you have to stay with it. You have to know when to get that investor, when to go to the market. You have to just, everybody don't have the same formula, but there are some common characteristics that get us going. Mitch put 10, say bigger and stronger.
I removed the word,
but I can't take them more to come in. Guys, thanks for having you. Share it. Follow main event so you know what is going on. Go to main event page. Follow them if you're not following them yet. Out. Man on a mission. See you.
Respect.
All right.